Hey everybody, my name is Brandon from thestockstudents.com, and today I want to talk about Bionano Genomics stock, ticker symbol BNGO. What I want to do first is head on into Google and talk about the news surrounding the stock and talk about why I think the stock has risen over 1,500% in a single month's time. And then I want to go into the earnings report of Bionano to see how Bionano is doing as a business. And then I want to head on over to the trading charts to see if we can find a level or two to buy Bionano if we want to buy Bionano. So now let's get started. So here we are in Google, and here's a 6-month view at Bionano's chart here. And as you can see, for a long time, we didn't really do a whole lot in the stock. But about a month ago, we really started climbing the mountain upwards. So if we switch over to a 1-month view here, we can see that in about a month, we climbed almost 1,500% upwards. So when you see big moves like this in the stock, you really want to ask why. So to me, the story of Bionano is really because it is a momentum-driven stock at the moment, likely pushed by the help of Cathie Woods and her ARK Investments using the ARKG ETF for innovative genomics. To me, there seems to be an incredible amount of retail investors following Cathie Wood right now, and I can't blame them. Cathie Wood has a great track record, and she clearly does her homework. So to me, it appears that, we had really early investors jumping around here and had nice gains, which was followed by the FOMO investors the past few days. Now, normally when I say FOMO investors are jumping in, then I normally say that, and then valuation concerns cause the stock to drop. But in this case, yes, valuation is concerning to me because we are at $1.5 billion, even though we are only making a couple $1 million in revenue, which I'll show you when we get to the earnings report. But I don't think it's actually too bad here. It's not the worst we've seen. So that being said, will we see a realization of valuation which may cause the stock to drop down here? And maybe, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see more upside in the stock first because of how strong the momentum is right now. So now I want to get to the actual point of, why is there so much momentum in Bionano? I've already mentioned Cathie Wood and her ARK Invest, but if we scroll down here, I want to really focus in on this article by Seeking Alpha here. And this is just showing you the Sapphire system, which is Bionano's product. So I want to use the Seeking Alpha article as kind of a segue to talk about Bionano's Sapphire technology. This may be a little boring, but it's important to understand exactly what you're investing your money into. So, just a quick overview of the instrument here. The Sapphire technology is basically a new way to look at genetic code. So I actually have a master's degree in biochemistry, and I can tell you that this is actually quite interesting stuff. Now I don't fully understand Sapphire's technology because, I couldn't find any public or free publications about the science of what's going on inside the Sapphire instrument. But from what I can tell you, it's, the concept of Sapphire's tech isn't really that new. Just to flex my biochemistry master's degree a little bit here, basically nearly all our cells in our body, except for red blood cells, have DNA in it. And those DNAs are stored in something called a chromosome, which looks like this. Basically, on the chromosome, there are little landmarks on the chromosome that can tell us scientists pretty cool things. These landmarks in the chromosome are what Sapphire is looking for, and that tells scientists like me interesting things about the genetic code. But don't just listen to me. There are many doctors out there who also think that this tech is real and would be revolutionary in the future. And we did have some good news on doctors being able to use the Sapphire tech to map the genome of the health crisis that's been going on here since March, and also be used for some good implementations for autism and tumor research. To investors like Cathie Wood and ARK Invests, they believe that Bionano has a potential to grow and become a leader in this hot new genomic space. And honestly, I agree with them. So now that I've talked about the momentum behind Bionano stock, Cathie Wood and ARK Invests, and a little bit about what the Sapphire technology actually is, I want to transition to the earnings report of Bionano now so that we can see how Bionano is doing as a company. So here we are on Bionano's earnings report here, and as you can see, we are on the statement of operations. This is the most recent quarter ending on September 30th, 2020. So this is the most recent quarter here, and they give us a year-over-year view with the 3 months ending on 2019. So as always, let's look at the revenues of the most recent quarter, which was the 2021, and as we can see, we are actually falling year over year in revenues. We only made about $2 million in this quarter, whereas last year we made $3 million. So to me, this is not really what I want to see as an investor in Bionano. I will want my companies to be growing year over year. Now, I'll put up a screenshot for a different part of the earnings report if we scroll down, where Bionano states that the reason for the drop revenue year over year is due to the complications with the ongoing health crisis. So, to me, this actually kind of worries me a little bit. Bionano is in the healthcare field, and this field isn't as heavily impacted as other fields of the economy. So, while they may be correct that some healthcare companies are watching the costs more closely, if this tech was truly needed, then I, a scientist in the science field, would expect that the companies would be able to figure out some sort of way to pay for Bionano's product. To me, even though I understand the magnitude of disruption that this health crisis is causing, I don't think that this is the only reason for declines in revenues, and I'm not sure what else is causing it. This, to me, is a red flag and is pushing me away from Bionano. So the next thing I want to talk about on the statement of operations here is the rising costs that Bionano is incurring in the operating expenses. So as we can see here in the operating expenses, which is this block on the statement of operations here, we see that we are pretty much flat year over year on research and development. But if we look at sales, general, and administrative, we have a nice volcanic explosion of doubling of the costs of sales, general, and administrative year over year. So, I've mentioned this a few times in the past, but I don't like to see rising costs in sales, general, and administrative spending. This is because this is like the back office work. These are expenses that cover accountants, the lawyers, and, the big boss's business trips to 5-star hotels in Hawaii. The point here is that even though SG&A expenses are important to keep the business running, it's not pushing the company's product forward. For a company who's supposed to be on the edge of science, I really want to see increased funding for research and development, but that could be a bit biased because, like I said, my day job is a scientist. So now that we got the bear case of the fundamentals of Bionano out of the way, I want to talk about a little positive note that I found in the consolidated statements of operations of Bionano, and that is the preserving of profit margins. So as we can see here, we actually rose the profit margins on our services and other revenues here. We see that our profit margins are about 50% this quarter, but whereas in last year of the same period, we were actually not at 50% of profit margins. So this is showing me efficiencies that they are improving on in the services and other revenues side of things. But if you looked at the main product revenue here and look at the cost of the product revenue, year over year, there's not really a lot of change in the profit margins. So I do like the efficiencies that they are showing in the services and other revenues, and I would like to see them improve on the product profit margins as well. So now that I've talked about the good things and the bad things about Bionano's fundamentals, now let's hop into the trading charts to see if there's a place or two to buy Bionano if we want to buy Bionano. So here we are on Bionano's trading charts here, and as you can see, for a long time we were in this penny stock range with no real movement. But, in the past month or so, we had an incredible momentum swing and a large amount of volatility that helped bring us out of the penny stock range. So firstly, before finding a support or resistance level here, I just want to say that we don't have a lot of data. We really have only like 10 to 15 days of trading data, so any level that we find will be pretty weak. That said though, I want to try to focus on this range here between this $4, $5, $6 range here. We see that after we had a nice run up, we had a little consolidation in this range. And I think that this would be a good support level even though it is kind of a wide range. So actually another point I want to make here is that this is kind of like a cup and handle formation here. So we normally see this formation in a stock that has a lot of retail interest. So basically what that means is that from the top of this candle here to the bottom of this candle here, you can imagine that this is forming sort of like a cup shape, and then this is the handle over here. So what that means is that sometimes when we see this formation, the stock dips down and then rises this wave back upwards. Now, I'm not saying that this will happen, but this is just a bullish sign for the stock, because sometimes when we see this pattern, we see the stock climbing back upwards to new highs. So I think the main place that I would look to step in for the stock will be if the stock breaks this upward trend and comes back down to the $4, $5, or $6 range here. The next thing I want to point out is this 9-day moving average, which is this blue line here. So normally we look at the 50-day moving average, but because this stock, like I said, doesn't have a lot of days of useful trading data here, we only have like 10 to 15 days, I think considering only trading data from the past 9 days is a better indicator and more representative than if we chose to combine the data from the past 50 days. So now that I explained that, we can see that once we hit the 9-day moving average here, we bump straight up, and we hit the 9-day moving average here in these two candles again, and both times we bumped straight up. So because of that, I think that the 9-day may be a good spot to step in, but when I'm choosing my spot of where to step in, if I wanted to step into Bionano, I would like to choose the ranges, because that is a more accurate representation of the equilibrium between buyers and sellers. So if I wanted to step into Bionano, I would be more on the $4 to $5 range of this rather than the 5 or 6. Now that I've talked about that, now let's talk about the MACD and the RSI here. So we actually can't really tell a lot from the MACD or the RSI in this case, because the MACD uses a 12-day and 26-day moving average to calculate the short-term and long-term momentum respectively. And because, like I said, we don't have 26 days to calculate the long-term momentum, we can't really reliably use the MACD to gain any reliable information. The same reasoning goes for the RSI here. As you can see, the RSI uses a 14-day moving average. And because we don't really have a reliable 14 days of past trading data, we can't really use the RSI here. So neither the MACD or the RSI is really telling us anything important. So that was my review on Bionano Genomics stock. Let me know what you thought about it in the comment section down below. If you have any questions or if you caught any mistakes, also drop me a comment down below. If you liked the video, please like the video. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day.